Hello, I'm Jeremiego Jędrzejkowski. I'm a managing editor in Rzeczpospolita Daily, and my great pleasure is to welcome Mr. Frédéric Faroche, CEO and General Director of Veolia Group in Poland. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much for coming.
Welcome.
And of course we have some very important issues connected with energy. There are some new challenges, of course, connected with the new situations in Europe that we observe from February. There's a tragical war above our eastern border. So in this context, I'd like to ask, in media and political discussions, we can observe more and more opinions that we will have an energy crisis that could, of course, worsen during winter. So Veolia is, of course, one of the major players in this market. Are you prepared for today's winter season?
Thank you for the questions. I think we will not have an energy crisis. We have already an energy crisis, right? It was created because, after 2 years of COVID, which was already difficult, the level of prices, etc., was already under a crisis situation, and obviously the aggression against Ukraine on February made the thing worse. So there is a clear scarcity of gas in Europe, and unfortunately there is also a scarcity of coal in Europe. And this, if the gas may touch Poland less, on the other hand, the coal touches Poland directly, since it was dependent partially on the Russian gas. Yes, so we are preparing ourselves to the best extent that we can. Obviously, the main topic for us is to find the coal which is not available on the local market, because obviously we would prefer to buy it locally. So we started to investigate finding the coal further, farther, besides Europe, and we are these days importing from South Africa, Australia, and even Colombia. The only question is that this coal has a very, very high price, but we will come back to this topic maybe in the rest of the interview. So yes, we are preparing ourselves. We are also putting plans of savings, and so we do the best that we can.
Intensive preparations for the winter are undertaken, for instance, in Germany. Policies and recommendations that we hear, that we observe to promote energy and heat conservation are being implemented. Even as special heat islands are also being built for the poorest people. How Veolia is approaching this area?
I think this, what I can see, what is being done in Germany or in France, makes already sense, although the crisis may be at a lower scale, So I think here we are ready, and we are ready to come out with 10 proposals, so-called, for district heating, which I'm working on. We are preparing ourselves of reducing, but I think it should also be done at the government level to propose such stronger measures like heating the flats at 18 and not getting rid of this 21, regimes eventually on the sanitary hot water production. Things of this nature should be announced now. After, if it turns out that there is no crisis, very fine, we would have just saved something for the benefit of everyone, yes? And if it is useful, well, it's good. So I think, if you may, if you accept this small criticism, we should be more strong on those messages which we will ourselves push, of reducing the internal comfort and the time. It's a positive behavior anyway.
And we have September, so perhaps the most important for now is the heating sector. What is your opinion, the reason for the current situation in the heating sector? Does the current crisis implicate any possible changes in Veolia strategy?
We cannot say there is no crisis, and so. But in general, I mean, the final goal will remain the same. We will still target to exit the coal by 2030. Still target coal neutrality. Now we must face reality. This crisis creates, yes, an impulse to be faster, like it's heard everywhere. But you cannot also ignore the fact that it's created a very big increase in the cost of building, and when we transform, we have to build. So it has to be. We have to be able to afford to build. So no, we are not changing the general strategy. We still target carbon neutrality. We still target coal exit and greening and reducing our CO2 footprint. But it may be slower because of the increasing of the general construction costs.
So it's good to hear that you are still looking into future, you are still investing, and actually this is my next question, because I'd like to know which technologies in your opinion have the greatest potential today in terms of solving potential problems in the district heating sector, especially in times of conflict beyond our eastern border, and of course in the current macroeconomical situation. So which of these technologies, in your opinion, are or will be implemented by Veolia in Poland?
Yes, so in fact there is no miracle technology or one. To the difference of the pure power generation in district heating, you have not only one technology. I mean, you need to implement a bunch of technologies. We are assessing, let's say, more or less 10 of them. They are made from different things. I think in Poland there is still a very big resource in pure energy efficiency, which this one costs nothing. This really needs to be tackled, and it is the time to do it. The crisis can be a very big impulse to tackle this subject of energy efficiency. After, we strongly believe that there is a lot of waste heat, either coming from the industry, coming from the waste to energy, coming from the servers, coming from the water to energy. These are all available in Poland, and they need to be tackled, and it's part of our plans again. The biomass also is sustainable. All this is clear, and we have a detailed plan. Again, it can be slower in times thanks to the cost. But I would like, if you allow me, to conclude on one thing. We are still committed to do all that. Simply, we need to have the resources to do that. If I make very simple calculations these days, with the impact of the war on the price of coal, if I consider the domestic coal price, it is at the same level as our price for heat. No one can run an economic activity with the costs that are exactly on the same, and only the variable costs that are at the same level as the price of the service, right? If I take the price of the imported coal, the situation is even double. I mean, it costs double what we are selling. So in order to continue, I mean, we should not go to short-term views of sharing the burden or pushing the whole burden to the companies, but we should find a way to share it in a way or another. And this will anyway create the incentive for the energy-saving companies and energy efficiency. I hope I was clear enough in this message.
So we are in the middle of the crisis, but it's good to hear that you are facing the situation and you are looking for the answer for the challenges. So
we will still be there. We will still be there. We will remain. At some point, we cannot face, bankruptcy. So we will push as long as we can, but we need to be followed and supported by the regulations and our clients and all the bodies. It should be addressed collectively if we want to go through the crisis.
So we keep your word that you will fight.
Yeah, we will fight for sure.
Thank you very much. My guest today was Frédéric Faroche, CEO and General Director of Veolia Group in Poland. Thank you very much for coming, for your time.
Thanks also for inviting me.
Jeremiego Jędrzejkowski, thank you very much.